Hey, ladies, with the release of Chucky Season 2, I realised that now more than ever is probably the best time to rank all of the Chucky movies. So quit reading that Voodoo Magic for Dummies rubbish because we all know you want to watch this instead. Before I go forward, I want to make it clear that I still think this movie is pretty epic. However, compared to the rest of the franchise, it just doesn't match it. After the release of Seed of Chucky, fans were upset as they believed the franchise had jumped the shark. Due to this, the franchise remained dormant for 9 years until 2013 when Curse of Chucky released. Series creator Don Mancini listened to fan feedback and decided to return Chucky to its horror roots. Before I get to the things I do like, I would like to talk about this movie's negatives. This movie wanted to go back to its horror roots, which I believe it succeeded in. However, my problem is, the franchise's horror roots were ready to be plucked when the first movie released. In my opinion, the franchise had very limited horror in, as even in the first movie the horror was quite well balanced with the comedy, as we saw how incompetent Chucky was in a funny way. While Curse presents him as some kind of voodoo mastermind, as he coughs his way through Nika's family, and while I love Brad Dourif's performance in these scenes, I overall felt there was something off with this movie's Chucky. On a more positive note, I think the new protagonist, Nika, played by Fiona Dourif, is a great inclusion. The practical effects are great as well, and this movie, titled of Cult, is probably the goriest the franchise has ever been. I also appreciate that they didn't go full reboot, as they referenced past events, as well as bring back fan favourite characters like Tiffany Valentine and Andy.
Play with this.
Andy! Andy, no, please. We're friends to the end, remember?
This is the end, friend.
At this point, we all know how awesome this movie is. However, I believe that everything this movie does has been improved on in the sequels in some kind of way, and that's why I don't have much to say, as I believe the franchise is the only good slasher series, and from this movie onwards, the series is truly great. To note on the good things about this movie, Alex Vincent, who plays Andy, is a great child actor. To see him return in the new movies is also good. Also, the animatronics in this movie are great.
What do you think? You gotta be fucking kidding me!
Similar to the first movie, I feel that Child's Play 3 is also just decent. However, the thing that tips this movie over the first is the prominence of Chucky, as this movie sees classic Chucky in his prime going on a rampage in a military school while trying to transfer his soul into a human body. This movie definitely has some of the best one-liners in the series.
Presto! You're dead! Bullseye! Nothing like a strangulation to get the circulation going. Don't fuck with the Chuck!
One of the issues I have, however, is how generic the characters are. This movie also has an awesome ending sequence where Andy battles Chucky at a fairground. In fact, this movie solidified the epicness that surrounds Chucky as a villain.
Not violence. Violins. Violins are bad. That screechy music's gonna ruin the goddamn country.
Chucky, Glinda's right. It's time we owned up to it. We have a problem with killing.
I don't have a problem with killing. I like a little killing now and then. What's wrong with that?
Okay. Hear me out. This movie is kind of awesome, and I don't care about what people say. Is it stupid? Yes. Does it make any sense? No. Is it fun? Yes. And I don't care what people say. This movie is fun. And if you like it, don't try and justify it as, oh, it's so bad, it's good, because I know fine well you had a tiny smirk on your face when Chucky killed Britney Spears.
Oops, I did it again.
First of all, I like how prominent Chucky and Tiffany are in this movie, and the introduction of Glenn/Glenda is very wholesome. Also, I like how they handled the fourth wall gimmick, and I find it very entertaining watching Jennifer Tilly play herself alongside Tiffany. I also like how they didn't tone down the gore, even though the movie is more comedy focused, which further cements that the audience is still watching a Chucky movie. On a more serious note, however, the sets in this movie are really ugly. They all use this fake LA backdrop, which is meant to hide the fact that the movie was filmed in Romania. I think the movie is great, however, and if this video does anything, I hope it can encourage you to watch this movie again.
Let's watch it again. You've been very naughty, Miss Kettlewell.
This movie is definitely the best out of the classic movies. The movie has a more stylized look compared to the first movie, as there is an increased colour palette, and I enjoy how the camera work makes everything look big to solidify how small Andy actually is. Speaking of Andy, Alex Vincent returns as an 8-year-old this time, acting like some jaded war veteran, which is very fun to watch. This movie has some awesome kills as well, such as the eye socket one in the factory. That brings me to the factory, which is an awesome place for a final showdown in a Chucky movie, and the main theme is just icing on the top. It's so good how they reused it in the TV show.
Well, hello, Dolly.
This movie is a close call with the movie at the top. However, after second thought, I had to put it here. Released in 1998, Bride of Chucky was the first of 2 tonal switches the franchise would have. Unlike Curse, Bride takes the character of Chucky and puts him into a new setting without turning him into a completely new character. This movie is quite clearly a product of its time, as it's following the meta humor that was used in Scream. However, it still works.
Why does that look so familiar?
The movie also introduces Tiffany Valentine, who is played by Jennifer Tilly, and she's just such a good character that it made you completely forget that she wasn't in the previous 3 movies. While I mentioned earlier that I love Seed for its stupidity, it also leads to the problem of many moments in the movie not being as quirky as it was when the movie released, such as the Brittany kill. Like, I only find it funny due to the concept, not the actual fact that Chucky kills Britney Spears. However, in Bride, it's just a funny movie. My only issue is how unlikable the protagonists are.
Okay, let me explain something to you. I am a vintage, mass-marketed children's toy from the 80s, standing right in front of you, holding a very sharp scalpel.
Well, this is it. After watching all these movies for the first time, getting to this movie was awesome. This movie, in my opinion, is the perfect Chucky movie, as it finds the perfect balance between the horror and the comedy. And while I don't find any of these movies scary, I still like the idea that Chucky is a genuine threat. This movie also has Andy and Tiffany return while still allowing Nika's storyline from Curse to shine. It's quite funny how the 2018 Halloween movie has a very similar plot point of having a victim from the original movie return as some kind of vengeful action hero. And I mean, come on, the ending is so cool. Like, there's 3 Chuckies in a mental asylum causing chaos. It's just fun.
funny his face when I drilled him.
Did you see the steam when I sliced open his guts?
I never felt so alive! Yeah, well, you've been alive for like 2 minutes. Welcome to the cult, pal.
Thanks, you guys are the best.
The setting of the mental asylum is just great as well. Like, the contrast between the blood and the, like, white walls it's very clever. Overall, this franchise is awesome and each movie has its own merits. If you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe, and if not, well, that's fine as well. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.